Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei and you're watching the morning forecast show. You might be watching this later as a video, or if you're watching live, we're live the same time every day. Take a look at your time and we're live this time every single day. So, insider or genius, we've got the $190 million crypto trade that sent XRP below $1. We've got all the facts about this trade. We've got it all lined up in front of you. So Sensei's morning forecast, 190 million, genius trade or insider edge. Binance races to calm liquidation chaos. We've got a lot of news to cover today. We've got Binance admitting their wrongdoing. We've got the hostage deal taking place. We've got Nvidia's CEO dismissing the AI bubble talk. We've got the China deal as well. We're talking about that, and also the main story of that insider trade. Potentially, again, we've got no clear evidence of it, but everything is looking a little bit suspicious, some would say. So we're going to talk all about that. But remember, nothing I say is financial advice, is my thoughts and opinions only. Please do not buy or sell based off anything I say. We're also going to discuss if this crypto market is going to continue to the upside, or if we are going to be going into a bear market. My thoughts on that, my thoughts on XRP as well. So let's start firstly with this insane market event that we saw. We saw something very, very crazy happen on Friday. We discussed it yesterday. We also had our Electrum member yesterday. So thank you all Electrum members who came in. Here's a little snippet from our Electrum event. This is a new membership we have. It's a premium membership, but it is one of the best ones out there because we have some fun with the quiz night. We learn some more information through the quizzes. We have that chart analysis segment. You get all the perks of bronze and silver, so a lot of it is at our cost. So have a look at this clip from yesterday's Electrum event and consider upgrading. I'll give you the link to upgrade as well in the live chat. Who's going to win? Let's have the drum roll, please. Let's see who's gonna win. Let's go. Drum roll, please. Electrum Podium Week 2. Number 3, Rene Zanin. Rene is on the podium. Number 2 is loaded, which means number 1. Is it Christopher? Or did he get it wrong? It is Christopher Pennington. He is number 1. Oh my God, look at. And runners up were Thomas and Billy. Look at that. Congratulations. Very, very close. Loaded was 400 behind, and Rene Zanin was also close to loaded. The top 5 was very, very close. It was a lot of fun yesterday. That was 38 minutes in, and then we did a lot of chart analysis for people. It was about an hour and a half. It was great fun. We're doing this every week now. Christopher won an item of merch. Loaded Rene Zanin won some charts. Lots of charts were given away during that show as well, so it was great fun. Do make sure you join us for the next one. The link to upgrade to Electrum is in the chat. Remember, XRP did fall to $1.50 on most main exchanges. A lot of people bought XRP at $1.50, but on Binance, it fell below $1. It went down to 77 cents. Someone shorted the market a minute before the announcement was made, and that's what we're talking about in today's show. So the deep dive today is who made, and they made 190 million while crypto crashed. A deep dive into the tariff trade. Last Friday, crypto markets endured one of the most violent sell-offs in memory. This was the worst liquidation event we've ever had in crypto. Over 19 billion of leveraged positions were liquidated in a matter of hours. But amidst the carnage, one wallet looks like it won the crash. On-chain tracking suggests a trader opened a massive short position in Bitcoin and Ethereum just moments before the tariff shock and may have locked in around 190 million worth of gains. Let's unpack the timeline, examine whether this could be legal or not, and explore what it tells us about the current state of the edge in the crypto market. So let's have a look, and let me show you some of the facts. Timeline of a perfect storm trade. So on October the 9th, At 4:30 GMT, a wallet deposits roughly $80 million. This is $80 million of their own money. They deposit it on exchange and they begin shorting Bitcoin. The significance of this is it's an unusually large trade, far beyond typical retail or even institutional sizes. About a few hours later, another $30 million was deposited. Another $30 million was deposited, and it was time to start shorting Ethereum from them. So the trader expands exposure across both major crypto assets. And then a couple hours later, 1 minute before the Trump tariff announcement, this is a minute before the announcement, another final Bitcoin short is placed. The timing appears almost perfectly aligned with the policy trigger. What happened 30 minutes later? Well, the shorts began closing. The market was crashing. People lost all their money. People started genuinely committing suicide because of the leverage that was taken out. And this wallet here, who put an additional short 1 minute before the policy was announced, the shorts began closing 30 minutes later. The market was crashing because the liquidation event was cascading, and the market crash unfolds and the profits were locked in for this wallet. So because the shorts were placed right before Trump's 100% tariff announcement and closed soon after the market's collapse, many are asking, how else could someone pull that off unless they knew? I'm not here trying to accuse anyone of insider trading. I'm not here to accuse anyone. I'm here to try and navigate these facts and try and understand what's going on so we can be prepared, better prepared next time, and see if we can unfold what's going on in this story, because it is very significant and it had a massive effect on people's lives. Yes, we did call the crash. Yes, Martyn went outside the norm and sold his position for Coca-Cola, made money then, sold it for T-bills because of this crash, bought back in at the bottom, sold back at the top, and now back in T-bills because you can't trust the market. You can see his comments right now. That all did happen, but I've lost my train of thought. But I think so yeah, we did predict this. Martyn predicted this the day of the crash, hours before I came out and said the market is looking top heavy. But neither me or Martyn can predict it to the minute. This account predicted it to the minute. This account predicted it with going short. Me and Martyn aren't shorting. We were just giving you the facts. Martyn was out the market. It didn't start a short position. This account knew exactly what's going on. This is very, very strange, in my opinion, or very, very lucky. So some reports suggest that the Satoshi era wallet, it does look like it's coming from a wallet that was active back in 2011. So Satoshi era means it's a wallet from that era. Doesn't mean it has anything to do with Satoshi. Made the move, leveraging 1.1 billion in exposure across Bitcoin and Ethereum just before the announcement. That is a massive, massive bet with a lot of money. So is this insider trading? That's the $1 million question. This is where it gets messy. What is insider trading? Insider trading. In traditional finance, insider trading roughly means trading on material, non-public information about a security to gain advantage. Many jurisdictions criminalize that because it's unfair to those without access. But that's not the case in crypto. There is no non-public information regarding that security, and crypto is not a security. Bitcoin and Ethereum are commodities. So it gets a little bit fuzzy, even though it's, in my opinion, it's still just as wrong. In crypto, the terrain is fuzzy. Bitcoin and Ethereum many other tokens are typically classified as commodities, not securities. The classification means many of the standard insider trading rules don't apply automatically. Even if laws did apply, proving someone has advanced privileged knowledge rather than educated guess is notoriously hard on chain. This is there is precedent. We have seen people go down for this before, even in the crypto market. If you look at the SEC versus Walleye, a former Coinbase executive that was prosecuted for trading on internal non-public data about a token listing, that case shows regulators can pursue crypto insider cases when the facts are strong. Could this trade have any legal cover? Some defenders might argue the trader acted based on market signals, not insider leaks. Let me know in the chat. Is this insider or is this just luck? Let me know in the chat. I'll actually put a poll in. Is this this luck or insider trade? Let me ask you this in the chat. Is it luck that you open the position 1 minute before? Or is it an insider information? Let me know in the chat. The poll is now running. There we go. So the trade might still fall into regulatory gaps, but skeptics point out the surgical timing. Right before the announcement, the duration of the hold and the speed of exit, all hallmarks of someone with advanced visibility. It's hard to believe that such precision was just luck. Many now suggest the only plausible way to pull this off is by predicting or accessing the content of Trump's post ahead of time, a notion that in this context edges dangerously close to the idea of dealing in privileged information. Do traders, let's look at it the other side. Do people normally do trades this big anyway? Yes, but with caution. Some crypto whales, large holders, and institutional derivative funds sometimes place multi-$100 million bets, especially when they believe a major macro or policy move is coming. We normally see this sometimes around other data, which again, you can argue is inside or not. Some people do this before big data releases, before FOMCs. But normally with much less money, and it's normally institutions, not individuals. So do traders ever take positions this large? Yes, sometimes, but standard practice is to scale and gradually hedge or use limits to manage risk. A whale putting all in minutes before a binary event, tariff announcements, tweet regulation is unusual. That's normally playing with fire. People with this much money do not like to risk their money unless they know what's coming. In fact, many analysts are now calling this a textbook front running of policy, not via inside leaks, but via primitive positioning that suggests someone had outsized confidence in how the state would move. So what does this mean for crypto going forward? Let me get your reaction in the chat. Is this insider or is this luck? 91% of you are suggesting this is an insider trade. Without me accusing anyone or getting down the rabbit hole, me personally, with what I've read, I also don't think it's just luck. I am on board with you guys. The bots will say luck. No speculation. I'm in contact with the sources every day. See my posts on social. Every trade shared. Yes. Yes, there we go. Trump's fan, we got put right in before the rug pull, says Ricardo. So what does this actually mean for crypto going forward? Edge is shifting from charts to information access. We've seen this now time and time again. How many recent events have we seen that there is big wallets coming out and making crazy moves just to be proven right before the original Trump tariffs we saw a few months ago? When there's been many instances now, especially even in the stock market as well with AMD. I'll come on to that. So what does this mean for crypto going forward? Edge is shifting from chance to information access. Before you needed good models, risk control, and conviction. Now, some part of alpha is simply who can peek over the curtain first, who has access to this first. Regulators will now be under pressure. Whether or not this trade breaks current laws, it intensifies calls for regulatory clarity in crypto and new definitions of market abuse. Retail is definitely at a disadvantage. We are at a disadvantage in some cases. And in some cases, we're actually at an advantage. But in regards to high-level access to data, we are definitely at a disadvantage. When big players can swing entire markets from the catalyst side, retail participants are reduced to reacting, not acting. This won't be the last one. A few weeks ago, or last week, we saw the AMD call. After the AMD OpenAI call whale surfaced recently, calls, remember, someone put calls just before the news hit about that deal, just before AMD went up 50% in a couple of days. Someone literally put massive call options on AMD. But here's the twist, and it just gets crazier and crazier, and it's just, in my opinion, it's just like all over the place. I mean, so many people lost money. Thankfully, a lot of the people on this channel, we did a poll yesterday, only about 10, 15, 20% of you got liquidated, which is obviously not good. But compared to other crypto channels that would have ran that poll, we were much less, because we gave the warnings. We gave the warnings on the day. We gave the warnings a week before. We told you about leverage and how risky it is. People don't understand leverage. We try to educate you on that. So a lot of people that watch this channel were ahead. So that's hopefully that's one reason for you guys to make sure you're subscribed and you hit the like button. But people did, no matter if they're viewers of the channel, people did get hurt. And we have to care about the general population as well. People got liquidated. People were new to crypto because people were advertising crypto, whether it's Donald Trump advertising crypto or his son advertising crypto, and saying this is something you have to hold, something you have to be in. Advertising leverage products like a lot of other YouTubers. People got liquidated. People, in my opinion, would have lost their lives and committed suicide over this, because of how every single person who would have had a leverage position would have got liquidated. Whether you were very safe or you thought you were very safe with 2 or 3x leverage, you would have got liquidated as well. So the twist is, and it just gets crazier, Donald Trump tweeted yesterday saying, don't worry about it, it's all fine. So just when the dust was settling, markets got hit with another twist. 2 days after the tariff shock that sent crypto and equities tumbling, Trump reversed tone on Truth Social posting. Remember, I'm not here to give any political direction. I'm not here to bash Donald Trump. I'm not here to praise Donald Trump. I'm not here to regard him as a god or regard him as a demon. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to report on the news. And the news is Trump tweeted 100% tariff, sent the markets down. Someone was allegedly insider trading on that information. 2 days later, apparently that 100% tariff doesn't matter anymore, because Donald Trump tweeted this: don't worry about China. It will all be fine. The tweet on Friday didn't seem like everything would be fine. The tweet on Friday was very, very, again, not the reason the market crashed, but it was the trigger that sent it down. The tweet on Friday was very much a scary post with what he was suggesting, what he was saying China's doing, what he was saying he was going to do tariff-wise. But 2 days later, the tweet was, don't worry about China. It will all be fine. Highly respected President Xi just had a bad moment. He doesn't want a depression for his country, and neither do I. The USA wants to help China, not hurt it. President Donald Trump, and that's, we report on the futures in the Electrum event yesterday, we were up 1.5%. That single message erased part of the panic, and with it, the foundation of a 190 billion short bet. Prices in Bitcoin and Ethereum rebounded within hours, leaving millions of retail traders whipsawed by what looks like the presidential market whiplash. Manipulation or just messaging? Critics argue that this pattern has become too common. Trump posts, market swing, then he clarifies. Some traders now treat his social media like a volatility index, one that can move billions in seconds. A few analysts on X even went further, calling this policy manipulation by tweet. If that's true, then those who somehow anticipate or see posts early have an unbeatable edge, essentially front-running the White House narrative in real time. So who got burnt? Over 19 billion in crypto liquidation occurred that Friday alone, mostly from retail traders long on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins. Within 48 hours, when Trump walked back from his statement, short sellers who entered late were trapped in sudden reversals. The original whale, if they indeed exited with that 30-minute window, was untouched, having already cashed out near the exact bottom. The result, millions of small accounts wiped out, while one perfectly timed position extracted generational profits from the chaos. What we witnessed on Friday was not a one-off trade. It's a wake-up call. Markets can still be front-run, not being arcaned exchanges, but by policy signals, social media, and privileged timings. The line between legal and illicit in crypto is thin, shifting, and increasingly tested. While I'm not accusing anyone of wrongdoing, I want to be clear that's not what I'm doing in this video. It's clear that the next frontier of trading isn't about smarter engine or models. It's who gets to see the future first. What an absolutely crazy long weekend we've had. It's not really been a long weekend, but from Friday to today, some absolute crazy chaos in the market, something never seen before, something that questions will be asked for years about this event. Questions will be asked about that $190 million trade. Someone became $190 million, and this is not an institution. Someone became $190 million richer based off shorting the market 1 minute before Donald Trump tweeted. We won't probably get answers. We probably won't know who told who. But the what we can take away is, don't be over leveraged. Just don't use leverage. I mean, if you're not experienced, just please don't use leverage. The other good thing to take away is some people are now saying crypto is awful. I would never buy it again. I completely disagree with all those points. We've heard that time and time again. How many times have we heard crypto is a scam? Crypto is going to go to zero. Bitcoin's a scam. It's too volatile. I don't want to buy it. We've heard that time and time again. We heard it in. Remember, I've been in the markets for over nearly about 10 years now. 2015. We heard it in 2013 when it went from $1,100 down to under $500. We heard it in 2017. The biggest we ever heard it was in 2017. We went from 20,000 down to 2,000. Then we heard it in 2021. We went from 2,000 to 20,000. Then we heard it in the bear market of 2022 when we went from 15,000. Now we're starting to hear it again while Bitcoin's still above 100,000. Look, the worst liquidation event in history, but Bitcoin only dropped from the all-time high to that low, 20%. The worst liquidation event in history, and Bitcoin only dropped less than 20%. I find that quite bullish. I am going to continue to stay in crypto. I am continually bullish on crypto. Anyone who's bet against Bitcoin, they have seen their portfolios lose against Bitcoin. Any assets you put on this chart, you compare it to Bitcoin, whether it's the S&P 500, whether it's gold, whether it's Nvidia, even Nvidia, and Nvidia is one of the best performing assets probably after Bitcoin. Any chart, any investment you compare towards Bitcoin over a year, 2 years, definitely over 5 years, and over the duration of Bitcoin's history, has lost value against Bitcoin. Bitcoin is here to stay. But you can lose your money along the way if you start leverage trading, if you start trusting exchanges. Remember, Binance as well. Horrific story with Binance as well. Let me read you this. I'll come to your questions in a second as well. If you have just tuned in, please make sure you're hitting the like button, subscribe. I want to see your reaction to all of this as well. I know we have a lot of Trump fans, and there's absolutely no problem with that, but I want to get people's reactions to this as well. A little bit like the Trump token, where there was lots of inside selling around that when the launch came, which is pretty typical of any crypto token. I know even Trump supporters weren't very happy with that. So again, this is not a Trump or not Trump debate. This is just, I want to get people's reactions to all of this. Whether you like Trump, whether you don't like Trump, it doesn't really matter. But it doesn't really change anything at the end of the day. But this is here another terrible story. Binance is looking for a $283 million rescue, raises tough questions about hidden profits. So they are now admitting they went wrong and they're trying to pay people out, but I don't think they're paying out enough. Again, what happened? Well, Binance has reimbursed roughly $283 million after 3 internal tokens, USDE, BN Sol, and WBETH, depegged during Friday's crypto crash, triggering margin and future liquidations across multiple markets. Not only did those stable coins or pegged assets crash, even coins that weren't pegged on Binance Exchange absolutely crashed. We saw XRP go down to 77 cents. I've never liked Binance. I've never liked what they've stood for. I don't like how they operate. But yet their BNB token continues to go up for some reason. Again, we will never understand why these things happen. The payout covered users whose leverage positions were wrongly wiped out when collateral values collapsed. But prices on Binance fell far deeper than anywhere else. XRP dropped below 80 cents on Binance, even as held near $1.50 on other exchanges, a sign that the platform's own liquid engine was aggressively selling through thin liquidity. Remember, they're not paying back. I don't believe they're paying back people that lost on leverage on XRP, for example. They're paying back people that lost on the ones that really did depeg, even though XRP dropped well below the market average as well. That's not anyone being paid back there. So that dynamic matters because every forced liquidation generates trading volume and fees. And those sales often happen in Binance's own market maker books. While Binance denies any manipulations, critics argue that the exchange's unified account system, where collateral and positions are linked across assets, can create conditions where early cross-asset liquidations benefit the house. They make money when there is liquidations, no doubt about that. The exchange still spent heavily to calm users, but the event highlights a deeper structural issue. When price data, liquidity, and liquidation logic are controlled by the same entity, it's nearly impossible to separate damage control from profit mechanics. This is the clearest reminder yet. In crypto, your real risk isn't just price, it's exchanges too. It's not just the crypto assets volatility that's the risk, it's the exchanges as well. When leverage meets opaque systems, even a glitch can wipe you out before you can react. The lesson is simple but brutal. Don't over leverage. Don't even leverage. Crypto is volatile to the upside enough that you don't need leverage. No matter how big their name, yeah, even Binance, one of the top three. Some places, some jurisdictions, it's number one. Even they can fail. What looks like a stable peg today can be a liquidation spiral tomorrow, and that's what happened with Binance. Don't over leverage. No need to leverage. Don't think of crypto as a way to generate money. It's an investment. It's a long-term investment. It's a cycle investment. Concentrate on building your income machine so you can buy more at lower prices and keep it as a low part of your portfolio. And it's a risky asset as a whole. Don't fall for scams. A lot of people are now trying to scam even our members and our viewers. We do never ask you to move your money around. Please do remember that. We don't message you. We don't get involved with your finances. If anyone is impersonating me with my logo, or Martyn with his logo, or Vaz with his logo, it's a scam. If they start messaging you, we never initiate messages. If anyone starts telling you to move your funds around, we do not ever ask you to move your funds around. That is a number one red flag. They might be quite convincing. If ever in doubt, come into the live chat and say, are you messaging me? And we will say, no, we're not. So let me get your reaction on all of this. Then we come back to Bitcoin's price and the bull market's going to continue. XRP, where are we going next? We come to all of this. I want everyone's reaction. Let me know in the chat right now your reaction to all of this. I'll go through the comments now. 90% of you are saying this is an insider trade. Let's go through some of these comments and welcome everyone into the morning forecast show. Paul D says, good morning, Sensei. Smash a like on the way in. Hello, Paul D. Hello, David is in the chat. Sammy is here. Rhino, hello. Super Kobo is here. Jeffrey is here. Josh Monroe, I see a headline that Barron made $80 billion in crypto this year. Must be nice. Yes, Barron Trump has become one of the richest people in the world. Not people in the world, richest crypto people in the world over the last year with a lot of these token launches, Wi-Fi, Trump coin. It is heavily reported that he's made a lot of money. I think his net worth's now over 150 million, and most of that was from this year's in crypto. Jason says, best thing I learned this last week is pay off your margin before a crash. You won't get liquidated. Yes, there you go. Martyn says, if you are in crypto with Binance corrupt move, government control, 30x S&P 500, Russia and China waiting to pull the pin on debt. Sorry to say this, you need to go back to investment school. That is Martyn's thoughts and opinions. Yes. Well, I mean, everyone has their own opinion. A lot of people have been holding something like XRP since 30 cents. It does, even in a market crash, it's not really going to go that low, in my opinion anyway. So, and also during the market crash, a lot of people bought. Again, I put on my X, where are we buying, where I bought, and I said buy. That was around $1.50 on XRP. That was turned out to be a great trade. I sold that before the event yesterday. So I don't think there's anything wrong with holding crypto as long as you're managing your risk. Sick Boy Custom says definitely insider trading. Brian says defo inside trading. I'll say it. Thank you, Brian, for your thoughts. Brian says, and it's something we can never plan for. No, but you can plan for leverage, and leverage. There is always leverage events, deleveraging events. But Martyn says, Brian, it's something you can play for. You will see today. There we go. It's all to play for. RJD says pure speculation. That's your thoughts. You think it's all speculation and it was just pure luck. That is your opinion. And thank you for sharing it. Donna says insider for sure. John says if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. George Leon said insider trading and the exchanges were complicit. Josh Monroe says insider trading, no doubt about it. Robert says it was all, yep. Brian says the bots will say luck. Thorsten says what to expect for the coming days. I expect, well, we've got the bounce. As I said, we'll get quite a big bounce. Initially, then we'll probably start to sell off a bit more, and then we'll have to see is there a lower high or higher high. We are seeing big bounces as we were expecting, but I'll come on to the charts in a second. Ricardo says Trump family got puts right before the rug pull. Ricardo, I haven't seen that, but thanks for your thoughts on that. Brian says, is there any way it can be traced to who it was? If the authorities get involved, maybe, but again, it's crypto, it's blockchain, it's decentralized exchange, probably not. There's Martyn on the chat. Yeah, you can see Martyn Lucas Investor. That's Martyn speaking. Jerry says, AG, have you got heard Silver is about to go ballistic? Yeah, I do think Silver's going to go to all-time highs. Oh, we've got a super chat from Jason. Oh, thank you, Jason.
Jason donated $6.98 through a super chat.
Thank you, Jason. You could have left a comment. Thank you for supporting the show. It's about to get worse. I took my overnight trade, made 3,000 now, and T-bills again. Oh, Martyn's out the market again. He's sharing that with you guys. 4L Crypto said the crash was awesome. I got huge discounts to add to my bags. Congratulations. Yes, it was a massive opportunity. Oh my God. If you had limit order set up, I would, again, I didn't have limit order set up, but you just look at some of these blue chip cryptos. Again, nothing really blue chip in crypto, but you look at something like ADA. Some people managed to pick up ADA at 30 cents. I mean, on some exchange, it wasn't as 40 cents. I mean, ADA at 40 cents, I would happily pick some up. You look at stuff like Ondo. Even in a bear market, those areas, even if it goes into a bear market and drops another 80%, those buys wouldn't be horrific. 27 cents on Ondo is incredible. You look at XRP at $1.50. Everyone could have bought XRP at $1.50. Every single person in this chat would have had the option to buy XRP at $1.50. There was no exchange that didn't allow purchasing at $1.50. So there we go. XRP at $1.50. Congratulations to a lot of people who did do it and are up 70% in 3 days. You've just made 70% in 3 days. I mean, no one can argue that that's not the benefit of crypto. 70% in 3 days with XRP, which is obviously one of the blue chips in crypto. That's like being in the S&P 500 for 5 years. You've just done what someone who only invests in the S&P 500 does in 5 years. You did it in 3 days. Congratulations to anyone who managed to buy the dip. They stopped trading. They stopped trading of the silver fund in India. Lack of silver instantly. Wow, Jerry, I haven't heard that. Please do send that in to me anywhere you have that information. I'd love to read that and report on it. 4L Crypto says, I laugh at people using leverage on crypto. Mar says, I lost 15% in 1 week with a small recovery after. That's not terrible on crypto. Sick Boy Customs. You really think it's going to get worse, Martyn, when there's so much still to come out with the ETFs and Ripple Bank? Yeah, it could definitely get worse before it gets better. And again, everyone's opinions are different. Everyone's strategy is different as well. You can't just follow one person. That is a very bad decision. Abby Services says, I did not lose, but this is not cool, man, how they manipulate this dumb, but also don't be creepy and over leverage. Don't be creepy. Josh Monroe says, most famous words, good time to buy Ethereum. Thank me later. So is it actually a good time, are you saying, or are you saying it's not? Jerry says, when they say buy, should I sell? When they say sell, should I have buyed? Devin D says, this is plan and all is unacceptable. Mar says, blue swan event. Jerry says, rainbow swan event. Abby Services says, Jerry, just hold till you hit your target. Six Boy Custom says, I think you can all do in crypto as proved is go with your gut instinct. I just hold until it gets me to where it needed to be. James says, trading is gambling in disguise. Yeah, for most people it is. Jerry says, Binance says, sorry, what a crook. Sick Boy Custom says, I agree. Anyone using leverage on crypto is a total gambler. It's a gambler enough without it. Jerry says, CEO now comes with free accommodation after you leave prison. Abby Services says, Jerry, they are sorry. Larry Ridge says, yes, it was planned. I tried to buy the dip on Robinhood. They kept rejecting me. Yeah, Robinhood, a lot of people have issues. I don't think Robinhood is the best exchange out there by any stretch of the imagination. They always have issues with crypto. James 007 says, trading without leverage is also gambling in disguise, just with better odds. I wouldn't say trading without... Oh, trading. Yeah, I think trading maybe, yeah. Investing is different, though, if you're buying long-term. Abby Services says, Larry, they don't want us on discount. Motto 18, Cody says, Sensei, my 2-year-old son is screaming hi at his name. Is screaming hi at you. His name is Otto. So Cody's son is 2 years old and he's screaming hi. Hello to Otto. Nice to see you here. Hello, Otto. Hello, Otto. You are on YouTube. Mar says, like crypto is following the path of Trump coin now, going for slow halving. Yestin said, it's Sensei. Hello, Yestin. Jerry says, centralized exchanges lose trust. DEX trading is the way forward. Again, there is risk with DEX trading as well. Sick Boy Custom says, but I love the premise of decentralized trading. Sick Boy Custom says, oh, we've just lost it.
Josh Monroe donated $5 through a super chat. That was a quote from Eric Trump back in February. Before Ethereum went down play 80%.
Thank you, Josh Monroe. I understand now. It was the Ethereum comment, wasn't it? Before, what did he say? It was time to buy Ethereum or good time. Yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, Josh, good time to buy Ethereum. Thank me later. That was Eric Trump, and then 3 months later, Ethereum's down 80%. There you go. You can't always trust everyone just because you like their political views. No one knows what happens. Where were we? Sick Boy Custom says, yes, just said that's a gamble anyway without adding leverage. 4Hour Crypto says, I showed on my live last night portfolio screen yesterday. On your live last night, you're a YouTuber. Thank you. Yep, a lot of people here's portfolios went in the green because they bought the dip. Steve says, I was rejected during the crash too. Every transaction declined. I'm sorry to hear that. Limit orders would have got filled most of the time. Stormfront Chasing says, I had 2,200 XRP and guess what? I had 2,200. Do not leverage crypto up to 2,400 XRP. Very, very good. There you go. Some more examples of why leverage is bad. I like trading and also trading with leverage, but I understand it's gambling. You can lose anything at any time. Know the rules if you're happy to play the game and drink tea every day. There you go. That's James 007. Larry Ridge said, I tried 4 times to buy XRP at 158. They keep rejecting me until I got to 240. Jerry says, if you take Bitcoin's price peak to peak, gold wins. If you take Bitcoin's price peak to peak, gold wins. Well, if you're talking about over the last 6 months, then yes. But we're talking...
Moto 18 has become a member. Otto loved that. Well done, my friend.
Cody, I'm glad that Otto loved it. Thank you for being a member for 10 months. There we go. I love it. Jerry says, if you take Bitcoin's price peak to peak, gold wins. Over a long enough time frame, gold does not win. If you just zoom out maybe an extra year, gold will be destroyed. Even though I love gold, there's nothing more than I've been a great advocate for gold as an investment. But yeah, Bitcoin has definitely outperformed gold. Sick Boy Custom says Binance has lost any faith people had in them. I mean, we said that last cycle as well, and people start using Binance again. Stormfront chasing, Robinhood knew that's why they were having a trading event. Interesting. Thanks for your thoughts. Jerry says no more Binance now. Sell Nance, says Jerry. Jason says looking at charts for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, XRP, Doge. They all seem to be lockstep. How does that happen? Just like the S&P 500, if it goes down 4%, if you look at probably 80% of the S&P 500 is probably also down the same sort of percentages. Everything goes down in tangent because of indexes, the way that they're so highly correlated. They're the same asset class. They're all high risk assets. Some will go down more than others. The bots go together. It's the same asset class, so they go down in tandem. Where were we? The chat suddenly just jumped. Don't just use one exchange. Don't put your eggs in basket. All in one basket. Use all exchanges. There we go. Thank you, James. Jerry says, "Sell Nance. People are so greedy. They wouldn't trust thieves to make money. They left themselves exposed. Whoops. Yes, if you have lost, take this as a lesson. Don't lose this way. Bitcoin is not money. It's an index." High Energy Reviews and Investment says XRP holders are going to be so rich. Jerry says it's metal season. It is. Jason says, are we going through stock charts later? Yeah, we can do. I mean, if you at any time you can do a $4.99 request and we can look at some charts. Good morning. Josh Monroe says million, not billion. Sorry if I misread something. Ricardo says Martyn was singing a crypto was crashing. Martyn was singing a crypto was crashing. Yes, I remember the event. Ricardo says, literally. George says, what platform allowed you to buy? I was blocked out by Robinhood. Coinbase let you buy. KuCoin let you buy. Revolut let you buy. Kraken let you buy. Robinhood is not the best exchange in the world. It's great for stocks, but when it comes to crypto, it's not the one you should use, in my opinion. Walker wonders why. It says, it's Baron Trump, the kid up to summit. Well, if it's insider trading, I definitely believe the person should go to jail. But also more than that, there should be rules in place to protect investors from this level and magnitude. So if you're saying it's insider trading, and if you think it's Donald Trump, do you suggest Donald Trump should go to prison? Because I don't think many people would suggest that. Or if he's the one who gave the information early. High Energy Reviews and Investments, never leverage crypto. Ricardo says, go watch his video right before the Friday concert. Yes, I remember he was doing the piano. I remember that. Steve Strove says, I also feel that no one should ever be able to make anonymous short for this level, and people who invest should be protected from this type of loss. I agree. Think there should be more regulation on sort of insider trading with crypto. I don't think it should just be limited to stock market. Mar says a lot of new coins are down more than 20 to 50% in the last month, like Pump Fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they will be. Steven says, I mean, it's all fishy as hell. Very lucky trade. Crypto doesn't feel safe anymore. It's a big game. If you feel that way, I wouldn't suggest investing in the market. Brian says, I have never short, long, or leverage. Wow. That's a very good thing to be able to say. I'm sure you've saved yourself a lot of money. I don't know any leveraged trader I know a few like high level traders, but I don't know any real retail leverage traders who at least have never lost in the first few years of trading. Brian says, I bought an bag full silver coins yesterday. Oh, I love it. What sort of coins did you buy? 1 ounce coins, UK coins? Let me know. H-bar was 7 cents. George Leon says Robinhood blocked all buys until over $2. Wow. There you go. Josh Monroe said, I got 148 on Robinhood. Well, Josh Monroe managed to get it at 150. I think most exchanges you could buy at 150, in all honesty. I got some BNB. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't buy BNB, even though it's on a... I mean, I just don't like Binance, so why would I buy their token? You've seen what they've just done to everyone. I bought some BNB, but I got more XRP. Even BNB topped XRP. Yes, it did. I bought XRP at $2.10, but I sold and made some profits last night. Congratulations, that's what I did as well. Is the market going back down today or tomorrow? It probably will go on a leg down next, I think. If XRP doesn't get back above 262, it's probably going to go on another leg down. Probably not all the way back down to 70 cents or $1.50, but probably go on another leg down. Normally, anytime you see a big liquidation crash, you normally have a little bounce up, then you go down a bit more, and then you decide, are you going to go into a bear market or are you going to go into all-time highs? I think we're going to go into all-time highs after the next move down. Sensei, can you look at ASML, please? If you want a chart request, you can do a super chat. Kramer says crypto's back. Yes, I know. I posted that on my X. Uncle says, I remember Binance took XRP to 0 on their exchange in December of 2017 before it ran all the way to $3. Oh my God. Yeah, Binance has always been a bit of a red flag. What would you say is the best brokerage platform? I think crypto-wise, I think you can't really fault Coinbase, especially now that they're regulated. They can't really do... The fees might be slightly higher, but Coinbase One fees are pretty good for most people. I would say Coinbase is probably the best. If not, KuCoin's good for like leverage trading, but I don't recommend that. Kraken has been around for the longest time. They've got really good fees. And then for simplicity, I would say Revolut here in the UK. If you want any of those, yeah, those would be the ones. Better Wellness Company says, good afternoon, everyone. Motto team, Otto, love that. Well done, my friend. Thank you very much for that. Robinhood didn't allow any limits to process. Robinhood didn't allow limits to be processed in the crash. Very, very interesting. 1917, my investment account is fine, but trading account lost about $600, not losing sleep. Crypto crap coins I bought last year, just sitting them live and learn. There we go, live and learn. Jerry says, India also have Diwali. Gold and silver demand is up. BXA says, can you lower your average to pay tax? Lots of just wait for the tax man. I won't answer any tax questions. Manuel says, is it good to hold your crypto in Robinhood Exchange? I think it's pretty safe, but yeah, I mean, there's always a risk. 4Hour Crypto says, Hyperliquid was one of the only exchanges allowing trading at $1.50 on XRP on Friday. That is not correct. Sammy says, same thing happened to me with XRP. Let me just... We've got a premiere coming from Vaz and shortly. We're going to go straight to that after this show ends. So let me do that. We will be ending the show shortly, so we can go to Vaz's premiere. Let me quickly go through the comments. It's simple. The rich got richer at the expense of the retail investors. They will do it again. Just be prepared. Yes, they will do this every single time. I did the research and I believe they flipped the switch from old fiat to the new rails. We are live with Quant and R3 using XRPL as settlement layer. I provided this on my live. That's more crypto. I love all the promotion doing. Do check his channel out. Giraffe says, Coinbase didn't let me buy the dip. Glad Instant says, I couldn't buy this on this wick. Limit orders on most exchanges would have gone through, or even if you're there and then there at the time, you could put orders through at around $1.50. Most people could get in. $1.70 was sort of 100% on most exchanges. 88 cents, $1 maybe you could have got in on Binance. Below $1, you just got liquidated on Binance. It was a manipulation scam wick. Is eToro any good? I don't really like eToro, but I haven't used it in a long time. Brian says, a 1/4 ounce silver Britannia from the Royal Mint, safe there. Love it. Very, very nice. There's nothing nicer than holding one of these coins in your hand. Xella did well, thank you, Axel. JJ8ball says patience is key. We're going to be rocking here for here in a few weeks. Don't let anyone scare you out of the noise. Yeah, don't let anyone scare you. Just be confident in your investments. As Martyn always says, buy with conviction. If you're buying XRP, you're buying with conviction because you think it's going to go to a certain level. If you're going to get scared every time it dips or has liquidation events, then you're probably not set for this market. Been through this a few times over the 7 years I've held XRP. Yes, sick boy customs, that's true. We've been through this. DJ Haynes says Coinbase UK lets you trade in pounds, not dollars. You can if you go into the advanced mode, but there's no real need. JJ 8ball says, yep, these daily, weekly ups and downs, don't even worry about being an investor. Brian says, all my cryptos in a crypto cold wallet, not your keys, not your crypto. There we go. Thank you, Brian. Gladinster says, we need an investigation on these weeks. I wish we will get some answers, but I don't think we will. So let's wrap it up. Let me give you the link to the newsletter. There's lots and lots of news in today's newsletter. Go and check it out. Here is the link to newsletter. There is a free trial link. If you press that is the free trial link, 1 week free trial. Do check it out. It's 30 cents a day. If you're a real investor, literally the day of the crash, we told you, I gave you 4 metrics why we were going to crash. Again, I didn't know. I'm not going to pretend I knew to the second when the market was going to crash, but this tariff news was just the trigger. The crash was inevitable. So do go and check out that newsletter. It's the first link in the description. It's also, I'm going to put it into the live chat a few times. If you haven't got the newsletter, there is a free trial. It's about 30 cents a day. Skip a coffee once a week, and you can get all the real news without ads to your inbox or on the webpage or on the app. You can choose notifications. You get access to the live community. Most people DM me on that as well, and I answer all those questions. And there's also a free plan as well, so you get the newsletter directly to your inbox every day. This is what we put out on Friday. Are we near the top of the cycle? And then we said, are we in a bubble? Yes, we are in a. Where were we? Where's the thing? Are we in a bubble? Yes. The sense of valuations are stretched. Yes. We gave you 4 metrics why we are in a bubble. I gave you all of that there. Do stay with me. Let me give you some more thoughts. I'm also going to be linking this event to Vaz. He's got a show coming up. That's going to be very, very important. So let me just link this to that. Oh, yeah. Vaz has already done it. Joby raising 500 million. Is this the last of the dilution? Okay. So that's starting soon. Let me make sure that's there. So, the newsletter, there is lots of information in today. We've got, it's Friday's newsletter. Today, we've got peace in the Middle East, which is great to see all those hostages on both sides being released and hopefully having some lasting peace there. We've got top stories about Binance covering. And again, if you have tuned into the stream at the end, at the first 20 minutes, go back and watch it. Go back and watch the first 20 minutes. You can go back now if you like. Watch the first 20 minutes because that's when we go through all of what happened over Friday. To Monday. So Binance covers 283 million in liquidations because they admit to some wrongdoing with the depegging. The Trump speaks amid hostage deals. All Israeli hostages released under truce. Trump hails peace plan, but human rights concerns remain unresolved. NVIDIA CEO dismisses AI bubble talk. Jensen Hung believes AI build out is real infrastructure, not hype driven by $3 trillion enterprise capex. So the markets, again, with XRP, I'm looking at $2.62. It's a very important level we've tracked over the last year. If we don't hold it, then I do expect to come back down, either put in a higher low, maybe at $2.50, or come back to $2.30. If we get back above $2.62, I expect to go back up to $3, and then we can start moving to all-time highs. Let me do that. Okay. So, we will keep an eye on XRP. My thoughts are still that we are still in a bull market. I'm still, even if I'm 50, I've always said I'm 60 or slightly closer to 50%. I'm sure that we're going to have a soft landing thing, and the market's going to continue to move up, even if we have a 50% chance of a bull market. The benefits of a bull market, the benefits of an altcoin season are worth being in, even if there's a 50% chance we're going to bear market, because it's so explosive in a bull market. And I'm a very high risk investor, so that I don't mind that. We've done this over and over again. We bought XRP at 30 cents. XRP dropped from $1 to 50 cents to 30 cents. People sold their positions, and then they missed out on the run to $3. I'm not selling. If we go into a bear market, I will just buy some more XRP. Bitcoin is looking very strong. It hasn't even broken 100,000. If we get a couple weekly candle closes or daily candle closes below 100,000 on Bitcoin, then I start saying bear market. But right now, I am still believing in this bull market. I still think there's enough evidence to suggest that we will continue going higher and see an altcoin season. While I do anticipate a major crash at some point. Maybe we get a mini crash, a move back up, or maybe we get that recession in 2026. I think 2026 is the year where we go into a bear market for the markets, and potentially get a recession as well. Jensen Huang from Nvidia is not suggesting we are in an AI bubble. So Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang dismisses comparisons between today's AI boom and the dot-com bubble, saying that the ongoing investment surge is underpinned by real infrastructure and enterprise demand, not speculation. In a CNBC interview, Huang said Nvidia's recent $2 billion financing tied to Elon Musk's XAI was an equity investment, not a vendor financing, reflecting long-term conviction in the ecosystem. He noted that hyperscaling now represents roughly $2.5 trillion in combined business activity, supported by $500 billion in annual capex, and that's a shift from CPU to GPU-based computing is still in its early innings. Huang added that the new wave of AI model builders, including OpenAI, Anthropic, and XAI, are turning profitable as their systems evolve from generating tokens at a loss to delivering enterprise-grade functionality. He cited NVIDIA's internal use of Cursor and AI coding assistance that has significantly boosted developer productivity as evidence that AI is now a tool user, not just a tool. Huang framed the current phrase as structural transformation, akin to past industrial revolutions where AI enhanced labor productivity and reshapes global output rather than inflating other speculative bubble. Investors should note that Huang's stance on both reassurance and a warning. AI demand remains strong, but concentration risk around a few $1 trillion hyperscalers means that this build out leaves little margin for error. So there we go. I think it's not like I agree, it's not like .com, but there is still AI fears, and that's what Jensen is reporting on. Let me end this poll for you guys, and then we're going to get ready to go over to Vaz. One more thing I wanted to say is obviously Martyn is now on holiday. I think he's taking he'll be back in November the 24th, something like that. So he's having a holiday, so we won't hear much from Martyn. So me and Vaz are going to be running the show. So every morning you're going to see my show. You're going to see more from Vaz. We're going to try and do some more content for you guys as well. But what's that poll? The poll says 90% of you say it's insider trading. That is the poll complete with 328 votes. So we're going to go over to Vaz in about 3 minutes time for his live premiere. This show will take you directly there, and I'll give you the link to Vaz as well. So let me go over here. We've also got earnings season around the corner. If you want to book in your earnings, you can do a $10 super chat and we will do your earnings for you. So there is Bank of America, I think tomorrow or Wednesday in the morning. If anyone wants that, I think it's tomorrow. You can do a super chat and we can cover Bank of America earnings. I'll give anyone the chance to do that now. Last time they did hint at XRP and they talked about stablecoins, so it was very interesting. So if you want to do a super chat to cover Bank of America, you can do that now, or look at your investments, look at which earnings you want us to cover, and you can do a $10 super chat and we'll cover it for you. I'm going to find the link over here for Vaz's live video. Here we go. Upcoming. Okay, this is next. So let me pin this up above. Next. Okay, that's the link to the next premiere straight from Vaz. We're going over to Vaz in 1 minute time. Let me pin that over here. Martyn can't stay away. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a bit of Martyn, but 15 for the 10th. Yep, we can do ASLM. If you want to do a $10 super chat, we can cover the actually 15th. Essentially we can try and do any earnings. I don't think we've got anything booked for the 15th. I know we've got one booked for Seth Houston, but I don't think that's on the 15th. So yeah, you can do super chats and we can cover the earnings. Seeing if I've got the earnings calendar. Where is it gone? Earnings calendar. I think I've got a calendar I can show you. Let me just bring this here.
LEB donated €10 through a super chat.
Oh, okay. So which one was that? Thank you, LEB. That was this one here. So I'll write that down. And I'll keep that safe, and we can do that earnings for you. Thank you for that. We will do that earnings. Let me see what other earnings we have. Get ready. Vaz is going live, so stay with us for just a moment. I'll show you the earnings this week. Yeah, we've got Bank of America. Bank of America is on Wednesday. Bank of America is on Wednesday, as well as ASM. Oh, okay. So we can do. We'll see if we can do both. Potentially not, but I think we've got ASML booked now, so that's the one we're doing. We've got tomorrow JPM, J&J. Earnings season is starting up, so you can have a look. Amex is on Friday. You can see that list there. If you want to book any in, you can start doing your super chats for $10, and we'll cover it. Now we're going over to Vaz. So everyone, get ready. The earnings has just started. So not the earnings. Vaz's video has just started. So here is the link. Go. Vaz's premiere started. Everyone, please go in there and go to the live chat and say Sensei sent me. Protagonist, if you catch us on any live stream, whether it's me or Vaz, you can do your earnings super chat and we can cover it for you. Or you can do a super thanks below this video as well. Here is where we're going. Click on that link. Go onto the live chat because it is a live premiere. You can go over to live chat and say Sensei sent me. Make sure as soon as you go in, you press the like button. Go into live chat and say Sensei sent me. This is Vaz's premiere. Late for the show. Sensei's rooster woke me up late. Sorry, Swift Coin Hoarder. We're going over to Vaz now. Everyone, thank you for tuning in live at the same time every single morning. See you tomorrow, if not later today, with some breaking news. Now we're going over to Vaz. If you stay where you are, this show will take you directly there as well. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.